Hey everybody, I'm just redoing this video from this morning around what it costs to become a real estate agent because I realized I probably sounded a little discouraging, and that's not what I'm trying to do. Name badge, always wear your name badge. So, the goal of the video is to just kind of prepare people who might have an interest in this career as to the expectations of like what you're going to get paid, how long it's going to take to get paid, and how much it's going to cost you in fees and stuff like that up front to get licensed and set up in a brokerage and all that kind of stuff. So there's really two things we're talking about here. There's the startup fees and then the potential length of time it could take for you to make your first transaction and actually start making some money. I think starting with the fees, there's obviously fees to get licensed. You have to take training. It's a lot of training. You have to take exams. You have to, find a brokerage. You have to pay to get licensed once you pass all the exams. Once you find a brokerage, you have to get set up with the associations and your MLS and Super E-Key and all of this stuff. And then it depends on how you're going to get leads. Are you going to buy leads? Are you going to generate your own leads? There's a lot of things that can add up. I would say to be safe, to do your training, get licensed, get your foot in the door, pay all your association dues and MLS fees and E-Key fees and all of that stuff. On the cheap, you could probably do it for about $1,800 maybe, or maybe a little less. Upwards to $3,000. And then, I needed a new laptop because I had to turn my laptop in to my old job, and the MacBook Pro I have is like 5 years old. The battery lasts like 15 minutes. So I needed to buy a new laptop. I had to get some dress clothes because, I was working from home. So I was sweatpants city all day long. So the layout was a little bit bigger for me. When you get to a brokerage, some brokerages charge you for certain things, others don't. My brokerage is pretty good. All I really pay is an admin fee at an E&O. And pretty much every brokerage you go to, you're going to pay for E&O. I mean, that's, for those of you who don't know, that's errors and omission insurance. And people in South Carolina, they love loud vehicles. I don't know why, but they do. All that stuff costs money, and, it's either paid quarterly or monthly or whatever. Potentially, you don't walk into a brokerage and it's like, here's transactions, start working on them. No, that's not the way this works. You're an independent contractor, and they're going to, you're going to potentially get some leads through them. Don't get me wrong. The transaction I'm working on, that came from Allen Tate, right? I mean, well, technically another agent at Allen Tate, but still, it wasn't a lead that I generated. So that stuff happens. But for the most part, the business you have is the business you bring yourself, either through your sphere of influence or some other means, advertising, and all that stuff. And that costs money too, or, it can, right? At least postage. If you decide to go your own route and write letters and all of that stuff. There's, excuse me, there's a cost associated with all of this stuff. The pollen is just ridiculous this time of year. So, I would say, $1,800 to $3,000 is good. I mean, the more, the better, right? And then I would say, to be on the safe side, have 6 months living expenses set aside, because, by the time you get through training and everything, and you get a transaction or have, some business come in, it could be between 3-6 months, maybe longer, right? Just be safe, have some money in the bank if you got to pay bills. Overall, I would say real estate's a wonderful career. I'm having a lot of fun so far. I have all these ideas in my head about how to drum up business and stuff, and things are already kind of coming my way. Everything's got conditions or whatever, but if everything shakes out, I could make 3-4 deals this year or more, maybe. We'll see. But overall, I would say 2 things: set aside some money for licensing, testing, fees, education, all of that stuff to get licensed and get your foot in the door at a brokerage, and then have 6 months, if expenses put aside so that you can, comfortably pay the bills if you have to. Okay. I'm very lucky. My wife has a full-time job and she's got good health insurance. And we've saved money. So, we're in a good position. Some people, it may be harder. So, and that's really about it. So, if you guys have any questions, just shoot me a comment or whatever. I'll be happy to answer them. And good luck. If you decide to become a realtor, maybe we'll bump into each other at some point. All right. Take care. See you next week.